And now, through the magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future, Transformers Slag Podcast. What's up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night? It's the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday Night live stream main event. I'm your host, Proto Man, who's a little tired and a little messy. Just literally came back from being out all day, doing a lot of adulting and stuff, and just got back in time, got the whole segment together. We're going to talk Transformers tonight. We got a lot to cover. We got plush reveals. We got all kinds of new toys. We got stuff in the mail, a lot of crazy stuff in the mail that we're going to cover. We're going to do a lot of super chatting. We got a good night tonight. A lot of people already piling in. How we all doing? We got Bigums, James Hopkins. We got Princeton Phalanx 59. We got Roman. We got T-Formers. Horned Owl is here. Ashnut is here. Will Murphy. Rodimus Power. Some patron people too, like Deep Freeze. How we all doing? Woo. It was a day today. It was a day. JR Mina from the Philippines, what's up? So we're going to cover news. We got a lot to cover. And by the way, if you're not familiar, my name's Proto Man. This is the face that runs this place. This is the voice you hear Monday to Friday. It's been a crazy one. It's been quite a crazy one. So we're going to jump into it. We got a lot to cover, a lot to go over. The P.O. box was absolutely packed with stuff for the Transformers Slag podcast. So I figured it's about time we kind of took care of that too, because there's a lot of stuff in there. We got a plush reveal from Symbiote Studios. We got a lot of great stuff to cover. It's going to be quite the night. So let's jump into it. First, we're going to cover, of course, Missing Link. Oh, man. This speaks to me. CO3 and CO4, Bumble and Cliff, as they are known in Japan. Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper, as they are known in the Gaijin West. We got the next stage of Missing Link, and they look amazing. They look really, really good. I was reading so much commentary about what they want next from Missing Link, and after seeing these guys, I mean, if you told me like the next 10 releases of Missing Link would just be the mini bots given articulation, I mean, sign me up. I'd love to see guys like Brawn and Outback and Huffer and all of those given like the Missing Link treatment, because you could go to Soundwave, you could go to Starscream, but they kind of got their due. They kind of got their almost Missing Link version. I mean, Robot Master Starscream might as well be the Missing Link version, But I love it. It's really good. I love the price on it too. 5,940 yen. With our exchange rates today, that comes to a little bit over like $37, $38, which is pretty amazing. And it comes with extra stuff. Little chrome gun for Bumblebee, chrome gun, which is the glass gas, and his iconic bazooka for Cliff Jumper. Man, that Cliff Jumper is, for sure I'm getting the Cliff Jumper. Bumblebee maybe, but Cliff Jumper 100%. Just love it. The scheduled release date for these, according to the Toy Hobby Expo show over the past weekend, is Q4 2024. We don't have a specific date yet, but I'm sure Takara Tomy will come up with one when that rolls around. But goddamn, these look good. I didn't think I needed stuff like this. When we got classics, when we got Universe 2.0, Generations, when we got all that stuff, why did we need to go back to G1? But then you see this and you go, I don't know. This tickles me in a way that I should be paying for. I love it. I know it's not for everybody, but I dig it. Maybe because I'm an old head in the fandom and there's just something about it that just, those early BotCon days and wanting to have hyper articulated G1 toys, but not in a modernized sense, more in a like taking the old toys and making them better. I love it. Let me know what you think about that. I know it's hot or cold. Speaking of hot or cold, let's talk about some Earthspark stuff. So, a Brazilian website, and I believe also some other South American websites posted up these pre-order images. This is what broke the news initially before it showed up on all the different news websites of two brand new Transformers Earthspark Warrior class stuff that fall through the Combine and Ride gimmick. A Warrior class, but it has the Combine and Ride concept, which is kind of channeling a little bit of that Energon, Aaron Archer era tow line. Not exactly combining and making it an individual robots, but so much just riding on top of something through a click element. And we got here the first one anyhow. It's the Chaos Terran Spitfire. We don't know if this is just a shallow repaint. You know, hey, let's take that Warrior class Wave 5 Twitch, give it a turquoise kind of color scheme, and say it's a Decepticon, and that'll be it at the end of the day. But you know, maybe it'll be story related in the show. Maybe she'll turn to the cons, and the Ember Stone will power her up or something. But we will see. We will see what happens with that. I mean, I dig the colors, but it really gives me that feeling of what used to kind of exist during that Unicron trilogy era, where you just kind of give a paint scheme to a mold and try to create a new character out of it without doing, you know, we're so used to, we're spoiled almost today with the repaints and retools. You know, we get more than just a new head. We get sometimes entire partials, new accessories, and you know, to the point that we almost don't even recognize it. You know, let's talk about, you know, Straxus to Vector Prime, or even something like, you know, what we got with some of the other guys with the skids mold. So pretty wild. We got a super chat here. Princeton Phalanx 59 in the clutch with an early super chat. Oh no, it's a mechanic question, Princeton. What happened here? Just finished replacing my drive shaft on my truck this time for the coolest stream on YouTube. Hope that didn't cost you too much. Drive shaft. What happened there? Was that some off-roading that led to some damage? Maybe a stabilizer link got screwed over? I'm very kind of I don't want to bore the rest of the crowd that aren't you know, that aren't the car aficionados, but a mechanic like me is always kind of curious what happened there. So pretty awesome. Give me the update on that, my friend. What do we got here? Let's see. So like again, you know, Spitfire, we don't know what it is. Could be, again, could be just a toy only thing. Just Hasbro going like, and this is, you know, a lot of these, I want you to keep in mind, guys, a lot of people don't realize this. We actually talked about it briefly on the latest segment of Toy Armada that isn't out yet. But a lot of the stuff that comes from Earthspark, that's West Coast Hasbro. And a lot of West Coast Hasbro probably still functions in that, hey, just do a repaint. It's a new character, call it at the end of the day. And if it'll be in the show, well, good luck. Who knows? So we'll see. We'll see. We will see. So, the bigger one, though, the bigger one that got people excited was herself, of hashtag, Terran hashtag, finally getting a figure that you don't have to stick your finger in her to get her to transform with the Tacticon. Giggity. It is what it is. But, you know, she looking pretty sweet, though. I like what I see here. Alt mode, though, does need a little work, but again, that's probably due to the combine and ride gimmick getting in the way of it. Having to have a figure be able to rest on the top, and her being like I guess we'll call it a surveillance fan is probably the best way, you know, to kind of explain what she is. But you know, a surveillance fan. Robot mode, 50% of it matches the animation model, 50% of it is kind of again baked in from what has to exist with that combine and ride gimmick. I would not be surprised if we will get a proper deluxe class of her later on. I feel that, and this is a very common trait in that you just kind of get a better version of them, you know, and then people swarm on that one and buy it, and then we get an even better one later. We got a gold super chat from Francisco Javier. I have no idea what currency that is, but gold super chats are always welcome too. My Studio Series 86 Grimlock just broke. Where did you break him? I mean, he's a pretty robust toy, but where did it break, my friend? You don't have to super chat again to respond to that. Just let me know. Where'd you break that? That's pretty rough, man, because that's an expensive figure, especially in the secondary market, you know? Especially in the secondary market. Luckily for you, if you want to replace it, Hasbro is going to be reissuing him. So if you do have the ability to contact Hasbro, and if you don't, contact me via Twitter or Instagram. I'll get you the contact information, and Hasbro could probably replace an item if they still have it in inventory when they do the reissue. So just keep that in mind, my friend. But that really sucks. That really sucks. I'm just really curious how you did it, though. Very curious. Maybe it's something that's not documented yet, like gold plastic. It has to settle in a bit. Eyes on Ace, Giggity. Of course, you're going to get a lot of Giggities today, Eyes on Ace, let me tell you. Printed Phalanx, not just high mileage. Kearns bearing. Oh, the Kearns bearing and the universal joint on. Oh, on the rear drive shaft was bad. Oh, that's. Wait a minute. It's not a rear wheel drive truck, is it? Should be all wheel drive. No. Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, getting back to a hashtag here again. I feel we're gonna get something better. That I want something with translucent on her visor. That's so important. To have her eyes go through. I mean, look, even the box art shows the translucent visor with the eyes through, obviously, because it's based off the animation model of the box art. But I mean, people will pick this up, and what worries me is heaven help us if this is the only other hashtag figure we get outside of the Tacticon. Because if that's the case, the people who will pass on this, you go fast forward a couple of years, and then this is the only decent hashtag figure. And then, of course, you know what happens? All the value funnels into one place. What's up, Larry? All the money funnels into one place on one figure, and that next thing you know, it's like worth a ton of money. I mean, that's kind of what happened with a lot of Cyberverse characters because they just didn't get 4x4. Okay, so it's an all-wheel drive. Well, all the best, my friend. That's an expensive fixer-upper. It's gonna be a tough one. But yeah, hashtag is here. Hopefully, we get something better later on. I mean, look, I get it. I get it. The media-based toys, especially more than ever today, they got to have the more gimmicky stuff to pull in an audience. Transforming can't just be the only selling point of Transformers anymore. It has to have something extra now. When you're competing in an environment when you have stuff like Bakugan that have a transforming element, like Power Rangers that have a transforming element, you can't just, rest on those laurels. So it's something where, yeah, transforming element and something else, combine and ride if it has to be or whatever. And Lord knows what we're going to be talking about next is gimmicks galore, because let's get into all that Transformer 1 stuff that we had this weekend. Oh my goodness. Oof. So top left, we got the Energon Optimus, $5 item, does not transform, but if you twist his head, he turns from Orion Pax to Optimus Prime. Matrix of Leadership or Transformation cog sculpt on the chest, the cheapest of the bunch. But again, I get it. It's for the kids. It's not for us. It's for the kids. We're gonna be in Studio Series and selectively picking, some Warrior class items here and there, maybe a Mega Changer here and there. But this is stuff that's not really for us per se. When you get into like the one on the top right, that's the Energon Glow Bumblebee light up gimmick. That's going to be something that's going to be a birthday present. Transforms in 5 steps. I mean, let's be real. Like every single generation one, like mini bot transforms in 5 steps, and from 84, 85. So it really is something to keep it simple, keep it easy on them, and we'll see. We will see. What does it say here? Mayoral Fabrication with the $2 super chat. Give me Legacy Evolution Cyberverse Swoop. Yeah, you know what? It's funny they mentioned that. I actually have that nearby. Pull that up. Like, yeah, it's all gonna fall onto that for the longest time until we get something that's even half decent. It's all the value is gonna be here on a gimmick combiner kind of thing in this case. Cyberverse, adventures. So I totally get with you. Yeah, you know, but you know what? I think that would happen. Mark and Evan, they really like always, putting a female character in every single wave. I mean, the best you could probably hope for is a leader class, extensively retooled 86 swoop. But maybe they'll do something in a couple years. They'll do a a deluxe scale or something that'll work out with the more feminine proportions and design that they gave her in Cyberverse. We will see. We will see. But thank you again for the super chat, Mayoral. Um, and then after this, bottom left, what do we got here? Ultimate Energon Optimus. Clear translucent plastic, very reminiscent of what they were doing during the Energon Rescue Bots line. No light up gimmicks on this one. $29.99, weapons, simplistic transformation, removable matrix of leadership. You know how it is. You know how it is. But then you got even the other ones. Then you got even like, oop, not that one. Silly me. Then you got like even these guys here. You know, you got the repaints. Let's take some Cyberverse molds. Let's take some Robots in Disguise 2015 molds. Let's repaint them. Let's resculpt them a little bit. The Blur mold that was turned into Mirage here has a brand new head sculpt. The Optimus Prime from Cyberverse, now a Transformers 1 version, has a new chest and as a result, new front end of the vehicle. And the Megatron had the lion's share of the retooling. I mean, if you compare it to its original Cyberverse tooling, it's practically almost a completely different tank outside of the rear end. Of course, the robot mode is still pretty much the same with all the tooling from the Cyberverse version, but this is the Racing Warrior 3-pack. Is this something that's going to be part of the Icon 5000 in the movie? Will Mirage be a character? Will this be Mirage's only toy? And it'll be a repaint of something that doesn't match because it's actually a older toy from 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Think about that. $29.99 3-pack. Check it out, yo. What else do we got? What else do we got? Oh yeah, we got this one here. Hey, how about some more Robots in Disguise 2015 items? The Minicon deployers, now called the Race and Blast. Megatron here. Brand new head sculpt. Otherwise, everything else is more or less the same. Even the Whirlwind Minicon here is the same Minicon that came with, I believe that one came with, turning my head here and looking at my collection. Who did he come with that one? Because I have all my Minicons laid out separate from their deployers. I think he didn't come with Drift. I think he came with one of the Decepticons. But yeah, Whirlwind, I believe originally that one was Hammer was its name, and now it's called Whirlwind. All the translucent plastics have been removed. So I don't know who this is for. I mean, it's for kids who I guess weren't old enough to remember Robots in Disguise, but want to have like a Bakugan-esque kind of gimmick, even though it doesn't open up like a Bakugan. But whatever, whatever. Cringe McCringle, what's up, my man? And then, of course, shots. Let's talk bot shots. Although they're not called bot shots, but they might as well be bot shots. It's the hype, like T-Formers 2002 says here. Bring on the bot shots. So they're trying to make the best of these molds. You know, they are trying to make the best of it. Taking that Optimus one from bot shots that has been used, gosh, I want to say like 15 times between that and bot shots in Japan, which was under the Bikuru Transforma Bikuru line, which stands for Be Cool, Bikuru. Um, so you got that going on. And then the Megatron, I believe, was wave 3 of bot shots when they stopped focusing on Dark of the Moon related designs that were more truck based and now went back to more tank stuff, which shows how old these tools are. Bot shots, I mean, goes all the way back to Dark of the Moon, which is 12 years ago. Woo! So, yeah. But yeah, hey, bot shots are back. They got the bot shots trademark back because they're using it for the trademark registration. But they're calling this the Race Changer 2-pack, $19.99. You get 2 bot shots launchers, 2 bot shots. The rotating chest panel. You see an Autobot for Optimus, a Decepticon for Megatron, but I imagine those other 2 panels are going to be decoed in somehow or stickered in somehow. Optimus is probably going to have a transformation cog and a matrix of leadership. Megatron's probably going to have also a transformation cog and maybe an Autobot emblem to show faction swapping. So we'll see what happens with that. Definitely the only thing of those gimmicky stuff that kind of speaks to me here, because I got a nice, glorious bot shots collection, even the Japanese stuff. So we will see. We will see. But delicious as always. And probably the one everyone's the most excited about, the one that has all the attention of this news, and it's that of the Quintesson High Commander. Will we get a studio series one? If I was a betting man, I would say probably yes. If anything that we learned from Rise of the Beasts, if you were a half decent, character on the big screen, you got a studio series figure. Even stuff like Freezon, got a studio series figure. Even characters like Nightbird got studio series figures. And I imagine a character like, the Quintesson High Commander is probably going to be the antagonist, if not one of the major antagonists of this movie, and will probably get at some point some kind of more higher end studio series figure. I imagine it's kind of like how we saw like Scorponok and how those were kind of used in the Rise of the Beast movie. And I use Scorponok in plural because there was many. And the Scorponok toy, and how you kind of have a movie version that's one color, but then the mainline one is another color, so it's kind of for army building. Maybe this one here, maybe like, this one is going to represent, the alt mode properly, but maybe the alt mode won't be as significant in the movie, so they'll do a robot mode on the other one that won't be hindered by the alt mode. Who knows? Who knows? James Hopkins is asking a question that a lot of people brought up to me. Do you think this could be retooled into Botanica? I've always felt that any Quintesson toy that we've gotten in the past, going all the way back to Energon and even that of Earthrise, is always a Botanica opportunity. It's just a matter of, do they feel they want to do it? Number one, Hasbro doesn't have a Botanica trademark registered. That's the first thing you have to understand. So if you don't have a Botanica trademark registered, that right away says, unfortunately, no plans in the moment for a Botanica. Number two, to say that it could be retooled, I mean, we see it in the robot mode, but if you look at how the twists and turns have to be done to make this, I guess we'll call it Quintessonian jet or whatever. They called it a Cybertronian jet in the listing, but at the end of the day, um, I think we could get a Botanica figure, but maybe it's going to come from a different source. I mean, even when we had Quintessa in Age of Extinction, she's not Age of Extinction, The Last Night. When we had Quintessa in The Last Night, I was surprised we only got that little clear PVC nothing figure because I thought she would get a pretty decent sized figure that could have some kind of mild transformation element, and then you could retool that into a Botanica because she would have had those elements that are very similar in terms of a sculpt and a silhouette. But alas, that did not happen. And then, of course, bot shots with all their plants and not having a Botanica. One day, the flower lady. I've always said this. Out of all the Transformer characters that have existed, she's the last one that really remains that had a decent amount of appearances that doesn't have a toy yet. Yeah, there's plenty of like one-shot issue comic characters like Flame and a few others, Mistress Flame, UK Comics Flame and Mistress Flame. You know, not many opportunities outside a third party for stuff like that, but no official toys yet. But Botanica like rocked an entire season and a half of Beast Machines, and no toy. Mostly probably due to the fact that, again, unfortunately, Beast Machines was not a ratings winner and didn't do well in the toy aisle at the end of the day. But it would be nice one day. Again, fill out those female slots like Mark and Evan like to do, and one day we'll get a Botanica. But we got this guy here. He's going to be the MSRP of $21.99, and is going to come with an Energon cube, probably a MacGuffin to the movie. Maybe the Cybertronians are forced to mine Energon for the Quintessons. We don't know. I'm not going to dive too much into that. But yeah, pretty exciting. Probably the most exciting of the Transformers 1 news that we got this week. Of course, this Transformer Tuesday coming up. We're going to have a whole bunch of new reveals. Of course, come on here to the Transformer Slag podcast. We'll break it down from the business side of it and everything that happens when that time comes. Now let's talk some Transformer stuff that maybe not everyone is a big fan of. Let's talk about some Funko Pop. So the 40th anniversary Funko wave of Funko Pop is going to be happening. We got a toy accurate Optimus Prime, a toy accurate Megatron, a toy accurate Astro Train, and a toy accurate Blaster. The Optimus and the Megatron are different tooling than that of the original first wave Funko Pop stuff that we had before. So if you're curious if it's just repaints or anything like that, the bottom left there is going to be a Hot Topic 2-pack exclusive, which will have a metallic sheen to them. And on the bottom right is a Laserbeak, although it's colored like Buzzsaw. Laserbeak that's also going to be part of this assortment on the top here. It's going to be 10 per case, 2 of each character, and will be shipping out shortly. These have already kind of broken street dates with some individuals who found them in Walmarts and stuff of those crazy Funko collectors. I mean, the Blaster looks kind of cool, but that's because Blaster was my first Transformer. So, maybe not. I don't know. I'm just going to tell you this right now. I mean, real talk, there's going to be some Funko stuff that's going to be sold at the parts party because, people sending me Funkos and I warned them that they're just going to go back into the, they're just going to go back into the wild, I mean, I'll keep a Hot Rod, I'll keep a Blaster, but, I don't need a Galvatron. I don't need some of those others, you know? So yeah, Funko. Hey, Funko makes some good stuff. I'm just not a fan of the Funko Pop stuff, Let's talk about also an important date that we just passed. Of course, May 8th, 1984 was the official 40th anniversary of the very first piece of true printed media of storytelling of Transformers, which was the original Marvel book that came out again May 8th. It was a Tuesday also. No, I think it was a Tuesday also. Kind of funny how that worked. On the right here, I just wanted to share a little piece of media here. If you guys didn't see the individual segment early this week that I recorded, this is actually a picture of the very first printed anything of Transformers in the West. It was in the Comic Reader, issue number 218, hyping up that Transformers was going to be coming out in April. Yeah, we missed that date. So it actually came out in May, but and just showing off Blue Streak. So Blue Streak technically was the very first Transformer shown to anybody in the world, at least according to the Comic Reader. Then, of course, again, May 8th came around and Transformers #1 hit. And we got our 300-foot Optimus Prime on the cover there. Absolutely huge, crushing a world's smallest Starscream while a half-transformed Gears shoots at Laserbeak, and 2 eerie images of Buster and Sparkplug are in the background. What a wild cover by Kasevich. Great stuff. Great stuff. Now then, we have a Symbiote Studios plush reveal today. The camera's a little high today. We have a Symbiote Studio plush reveal today. It kind of broke a little bit on the website early, but didn't really get out too much. So, bam.
Soundwave superior, Constructicons inferior.
Who are you calling inferior? Nobody would follow an uncharismatic bore like you.
Hey, nobody calls Soundwave uncharismatic. Yeah, let's kick tailgate.
Constructicons unite!
No way!
So, the next Symbiote Studio releases, and it actually comes in a 2-pack, will be Rumble and Frenzy. You guys could fight in the chat who is who, but then again, this robot here on the left is purplish, so there's no Rumble is red, Frenzy is blue argument here when you go with the purpley kind of animation color scheme. But Rumble and Frenzy, the 2-pack, has been added to the Symbiote Studio library. This is all that is available right now on symbiotestudios.com right now. A lot of stuff has sold out recently, so if you're not seeing characters like Grimlock and Shockwave, not Shockwave, who else was sold out recently? There was a bunch that were sold out. Trying to remember, because a lot of them sold out recently. It's been pretty crazy over there, but here's the rest of them. We still have more reveals that are going to be coming. We have the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that will be revealing in probably the next couple of weeks. We have other stuff for 2024, a full line of plush, a full line of massive insanity. And of course, all the other brands. If you're a pony fan, they have the brand new Cuddle collection of ponies at the bottom there. What's different about the Cuddle collection? Well, it's 15 inches of pony. So now even you could be hung like a horse. But yeah, hey, you got the My Little Pony collection, you got the Power Ranger stuff that's available, you got the GI Joe stuff. All the other Hasbro brands have also been. And good news for you guys. Good news for you guys. This week ends tomorrow, actually, I think. There's going to be an up to 50% off sale on the following items on the screen here. Some of them are 33% off, but I believe all the Transformer stuff that's shown here is 50% off. So if you haven't gotten any Symbiote Studio plushes, they are on sale right now. Get yourself a hot rod for your collection. Bam, my boy. And check it out, yo. Check it out. Um, let's see here. I know people are gonna react to that one. But I don't care. Are the Symbiote Studios Rumble and Frenzy smaller than their other plushes? Yes, they are, actually. They are scaled slightly smaller to work with your Soundwave. They're not super tiny, but they are they are smaller. I wish I had some examples. They are in the mail, unfortunately. So they're not on their way. But yeah, so check out the Symbiote Studio plushes and of course all the other stuff too. G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, My Little Pony, and then some. All of it looking good as they should. The pony stuff is I'm shocked how well that sells, but you know how it is. You know how it is. Um T-Formers 2, these actually got released pretty much right after you ended the live. I know. It got leaked out early. Ended up on the website. It is what it is. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with the releases and the leaks and stuff. Now you know how Hasbro feels, but it is what it is. You just got to roll with it and keep moving forward. And speaking of which, we got Aaron Archer, the Art of Transforming Robots man himself, the guy who was behind all that Unicron trilogy loveliness and 2007 movie and beyond. We got our segment here, the toy armada with Aaron Archer, talking about the early production of Energon. Go check that out if you got a moment. Me and Aaron shot two separate segments just recently that are right now hopefully will be edited and done in time before TFCon. Two really good segments. One that's a really good deep dive into some specific figures. Another one that's really some deep inside baseball about the industry and everything. Two really good segments. Be sure to check out the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. If you like listening to my dumb voice here, go follow that one too. So, and again, the Art of Transforming Robots Volume 2 Color Edition. Not many of those left. Aaron talked about it during his live stream yesterday, which if you have not checked it out, he goes extensively into books and art books and guidebooks and everything. It's over 2 hours. A really good watch. Go check that out when you're done listening to me. But in the meantime, go pick up The Art of Transforming Robots Volume 2 Color Edition. $20 gets you the beautiful 36 full color page book. An extra $15 gets you, what's up, David Cabal? That gets you David Cabal. Gets you a custom sketch of anything that you want. Just let Aaron what you want to get drawn in there. And of course, if you haven't also pick up a Posca painting at archermonster.com/shop. This isn't the updated list. It's just I came home ridiculously late and I didn't have enough time to update which were added to the website. But go check it out. Hopefully some of these are still in stock. I don't know. That alternators one, I'm shocked, is still in stock. That one looks so good. But there's only so much wall space I could have. Aaron gave me some beautiful Energon ones and everything. So I don't know. I don't know. Someone's got to pick up that alternators one. That one's delish. And that's it more or less. So that's it for the sponsors. That's it for what we got in terms of news. But we also have what we got this week. And they got a letter in the mail. I don't know if he wants me to say his name though. I don't even know if he's in the chat. I don't know his screen name. Thomas G. That's all I'll say. I got a letter. I got in the PO box a absolutely massive package from Poland. Huge, huge, huge package, which was surprising because on the box, like with duty, they kind of claim how much is in there, and it was in Polish dollars, and I'm like, how much is that in Polish dollars? And it was like claimed of like an equivalency of like over $1,000. I was like, what is in this box? And it was a heavy, huge box. I wish I could show it on screen. It's huge. And I mean, I don't even know if he wants me to read the letter he wrote, but he just wanted to say like, that he really loves the podcast, and he's kind of like backing off a little bit from the hobby and wanted to share some of the love and the pieces and the parts and everything. And he wanted to do his own podcast in Poland, which is pretty cool. I always tell people, like, if like people have to understand about this podcast. This podcast first started as a regional podcast. Like David Cabal knows, he's in the chat here. This was Transformers Canadian Slag originally. And it's only, through the years with me and Jaws D kind of revamping it did it become the global sensation it is today. But it was originally a regional podcast. And I always tell people, like, if you're scared to do a podcast or something, but you're like, you're outside of the USA Canada bubble, you could do a regional stuff, a Polish podcast. I mean, there's a local kind of Quebecois French speaking Transformer community here that kind of do their own thing. So like that's something that's pretty rad. That the fact that he was trying to do that too, so I mean, to me, like, if you want to do something creative, never stop. The worst thing you could ever do is not try. And to me, that's really cool that he tried to do that and do a little Polish podcast, but he sent a whole bunch of stuff, and I mean, some of it was really cool. The coolest thing that he sent me, honestly, out of everything was this here. It's a nondescript box, but this was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that was a piece of the movie Optimus Prime's tire, like 2007. No, actually, I think it was Age of Extinction's tire. It's the actual tire from the movie, a piece of it, and it has a little like box here that's actually the certificate of authentic. Here, let me just pull it out there. The certificate that you own a piece of the tire, you know. So he sent that. A lot of really cool little things he sent in there, because it's one of those things that I guess if people want to send me stuff in the mail, they're always scared, like, what do I send Proto Man? I mean, doesn't he have everything? I'll tell you guys something. If you send me something I already have, it'll go to a good home, because there's a lot of items in there that don't tickle my fancy, especially third party stuff. And that'll go to charity auctions at TFCon. That's usually the case. A lot of stuff that I get sent that either I already have a figure of, trust me, I appreciate it. I thank the people, everyone who sends me stuff. I contact them, I thank them, I talk to them and everything. And I let them know, like, hey, that stuff is going to go to a good cause, because I might already have that figure, but if I use it in the charity auction at TFCon, that goes to Make a Wish. That goes to helping a terminally ill kid be able to see John Cena, or like some kind of actor or whatever he wants to do. And to do Make a Wish, you got to usually have around 10K of money to do a Make a Wish, and TFCon, we kill it every year. I mean, shout out to General Techno. I got to give a shout out to Michael, General Techno. Anyone who knows like his custom Cosmos that made like, geez, 1/3 of the money for one of the Make a Wishes. Like definitely after that Cosmos, there was definitely one kid getting a Make a Wish for sure. But a lot of that stuff will go to it. So I'm definitely going to be putting some stuff in the Make a Wish, but there is some stuff I'm going to be keeping. I mean, this Japanese version of Micron Detsetsu Hotshot, aka Hot Rod, as he was called. What's cool about this one is this actually has the light up gimmick in the fist. Which, do they show it here? Probably they barely show it. You could barely see it on the cross sell, but so he had the light up in the fist, which was gutted out of ours because we have price points. And to put an LED light would have been, the same thing. This one too, sealed, Iron Handle, aka Demolisher. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Sorry if I'm missing any comments. Uh, Let me just get to these first. David Cabal, yup, and it had the best content. It was really great. I started listening to Derek White interview from TFW Evangelist, and then Protoman followed up with TFYLP too. Did I talk with Derek on TFYLP? I don't remember. I don't remember, because I know that Derek Wyatt was on Slag podcast like twice, and then Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to. The thing is like Derek's like a personal friend, so like I don't remember when we were recording and when we weren't. I know that there was once at the TF Con bar. There was once in the TF Con in front of the women's washroom. No joke. I didn't plan that. We just had a spot and we just did it in front. There's photos of me and Derek doing an interview, and if you look in the background, like the women's washroom is like right there. I don't know how that happened. Um, and then I think we did something. I think we did something also. I think we did something. I have to find all of that. That's all like I don't want to say it's lost media. It's just it's not up. If I know that if you look on the Transformer Slag podcast like archive for this and you type like Transformer Slag podcast Derek Wyatt, you will get I think one of the interviews, but it was an interview that was cobbled together with someone's footage that they got. I want to say Ninjatron's footage. I could be wrong. Or maybe Phil's, whoever was recording it with their camera. You have to understand, this was like 2008. This is like before smartphones were really prevalent. Audio technology wasn't the best back then. Derek's wearing like this weird headset that looks weird on his head. Like it was, I'm using like a wired microphone. Like this is 2008, early Derek days, when animated was still like in its early testing grounds. Good times, good times. Oh, Micah's here too. What's up, Micah? What's up, Micah? Micah was the one when we did our live stream from TFCon. He was the one with that beautiful Bengal cat. I love that cat. The cat's gorgeous. It wasn't you, Ninja. I don't know who it was. Someone was recording. I don't remember who it was, but I ended up getting that footage somehow. Maybe it was I don't know, maybe it was Ryan. I don't know. Anyways, there's others here. We got this sealed. This one I kind of like because I never picked this one up. This is Cyberverse Whirl, a classic example of Proto Man waited for when they would make a better version of the character for the show, and well, yeah, that just never happened. So the one step we'll just have to do, or the Turbo Talon Whirl, kind of looks a little bit like the Morton Meets the Eye version, though. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Whole bunch of other great stuff. I mean, the box is just huge. Like, I wish I could show you guys just how big the box is. Uh, there's some cool like Magic Square stuff in there, some Galaxy Force stuff. The one thing that he did send that I'm very happy, he sent me a Studio Series 86 hot rod so I could build an army of those. But yeah, maybe it was Vangelis that recorded it. You're right, eh? No, but Vangelis always has good audio quality, so his wouldn't have been bad. He's a film student. I don't know. I do not know. I do not know. But either way, it's out there. It's out there. Like I know that we did an audio one separately. We did one in front of that bathroom. We did one in the Quest bar back in the day. We did one at BotCon back in the day. We did a whole bunch of them, like just chilling in hotel rooms and hanging out. Like it's all out there somewhere if people dig. I know some of it's in my archives on some of my old Seagate portable hard drives of all the stuff. I mean, this is like a double terabyte one of like whenever I do stuff, I back it up just in case. What if one day tomorrow YouTube just goes crazy and deletes everything we ever made? At least I got stuff backed up. You know, it is as big as a Unicron box. I would have to say 2/3 of that. Yeah, it's huge. Like, hold on, just to like, gosh, I'm gonna knock everything over just trying to get this here. Ugh. Oh, I don't want to show his address though. This thing's huge. Okay, it's gonna fall over. Let me grab one more item out of it. What do we got here? So there's the hot rod. Bang bang. Uh, there you go. This one here, I believe it was called X not X Kaiser. What did they call I think it was X Geyser was EDC hot shot. Got that one. Look at that. You got even a what do you call it? Titanium's 3-inch hot rods in here. When you're sending Proto Man something, it's gonna be this is gonna go in the charity auction, but nice little Ravage. A lot of great stuff. It's a huge box, guys. I wish I planned better for this. Let me put this here. There we go. It's a lot of stuff. But again, thank you, Thomas. You're an ace above aces. Um, and it's going to go to a good cause, a lot of it. 50% of it will find its way here. The other 50% of it will go to Make-A-Wish and making a kid happy. Because to me, it's like the toys aren't going to make a kid happy. It's the money that'll come from the toys that'll make a kid happy for sure. And me and Ian, who do the Make-A-Wish and the charity auction, you guys see the madness. You see sweaty Proto Man after like 8 hours of it. I'm just like, oh gosh. Uh Horned Owl, I love that Cyberverse world design. I only wish they made a good fig of him. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, like I was like, oh, they'll make a good one day. And again, Cyberverse was like the beginning of that era of, yeah, maybe we're not going to get good figures of everybody. So, I mean, the fact that Windblade didn't get one in the initial line is kind of shocking. Kind of shocking. It took a official, generations-esque legacy figure to get a decent Cyberverse Windblade, which is kind of wild when you think about it. But you know, it is what it is. But again, thank you, Thomas. You're absolutely awesome. That's really cool of you. I get, you know what? So many times, people they ask, they want to send stuff in, and I go, Don't save your money." You know what I mean? Like, save your money. Like, you don't have to buy me things. Like, I'm very lucky to have the opportunities that I do to get stuff financially. But like, this was something that was more okay. There's some stuff here that's cool, and then there's some stuff here that I feel could also do good. You know, so, and if you do want to send stuff for the charity auction, usually about a month before TFCon, we put out a PO box address, which is located in Niagara Falls, USA. So it's something that is easy to, like, for Americans to ship to. It doesn't have to ship to Canada. That we take it and we put it into the charity auction. Um, Cringe McCringle Proto, expect an hour or two long video of me of the charity auction plan, posting the madness on my channel. Yeah, man. Like, if anyone watches the charity auction, all it is me in the front and thousands of donated items. No joke. I'm not joking. It's literally thousands of donated items, which is what's so amazing about people. Thousands of donated items, and then me, like, literally going through it and go, oh, this is going to make money, this is going to make money. Like, so much stuff doesn't make it to the official charity auction, and then when the charity auctions end, then we do the make a deal, which is just like, here's all these loose figures, what do you want? Oh, $5 for this, $5 for that. And then that's when I scurry up to my room because I'm done. I usually, I get the TFCon and I start like sorting all that charity auction stuff from like 2 p.m. until it starts at like 6, 7. And then the charity auction goes for 2, 3 hours, and then I am burnt. Friday is the worst day for me at TFCon. Saturday, Sunday, I'm so much better. I got my shower after in me. I'm all relaxed. I'm chilling at the table with Aaron. We're able to relax, just talk with fans. Maybe we'll do a panel or something. It's Saturday and Sunday is a million times chilled, but Friday, forget about it. Got to do crazy stuff for them kids. Cringeman Kringle posted the TF watch party from LA last year. That video did pretty much pretty better than I thought. Well, it was craziness. Aaron's here. What's up, Aaron? What up, boy? Again, go check out Aaron's live stream that he did. Aaron did a absolutely fantastic live stream. 2 hours. He did some craziness that I did. Man, Aaron's got some good books though. I mean, Aaron, I wanted to kind of like show these. You were talking about books that are made for certain regions because they don't have the show. So you were talking about like the animated ones here. Like, I got like almost the whole run of them. And what's interesting about them, so imagine if you're a country that doesn't have Transformers animated, right? And the only way you're able to consume it is through these books here, right? The very last book of that run was issue number 13, has Blur on the cover here, and it ends on a cliffhanger. Sorry, why is your arm like that? The end for now. And then that's it. And then they never did a follow-up book ever. So that's wild. That's absolutely wild. That those regions are probably like, "Wait, what happened? What happened?" And then you got the Transformer Prime ones. Oh, let's knock the camera. There we go. You got the Transformer Prime ones, Original Adventures. Again, I love these. That's why when you show them on your live stream, I'm like, dude, I got all of those too. I got all of that, man. I got a crazy, crazy wall of books here. I told you guys one day we're gonna do a really cool stream, top down shot, secondary shot camera. We're gonna open up all the wild books and everything. Yeah, it was a great book stream. Great, great, great. 2 hours too, which was fantastic. That's a lot of good content. Keep you busy. Keep you busy while Aaron's showing some grails. He even had the I love that Aaron also has this one. The most elusive of them all, the 2003 Derek Wyatt sketchbook. Before Derek was working on Transformers. Where's his where's the best one that he had in here? Hold on a second. Give me a moment. This is like during his Teen Titan days. Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go, Teen Titans. And before he did Ben 10. Where's the Transformer stuff in here? Has a few of them. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So you got here's Derek. Now keep in mind this is 2003. This is years before Derek did anything Transformers. You got Beast Machines. You got a Straxus head there. You got some version of a Blur. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? All those years ago. Here's some more. That's from his, this is his very first sketchbook. What? From back in the day. I got this from Derek. Very, very cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. Uh, yeah. Where we at? Where we at? So I want to make sure I'm not missing any super chats or anything. But yeah, TFCon's gonna be pretty awesome. That's gonna be the next leg of the tour, if I remember correctly. It's gonna be TFCon and then San Diego Comic Con afterwards with Hasbro and Symbiote Studios. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, for sure, I'm gonna be there for both of those. And then afterwards is what? TFCon Baltimore. That's still super far away. Super far away, but we'll cover all of that. Yeah, he will be missed, Dave. I'm telling you, like Derek was such a character. I loved what made me and him hit it off was really because I like weird stuff. Like a lot of properties that I really enjoy are like the weird stuff that most people, like now it's like hip to be into those brands. But back then, like if you told someone back in like the early 2000s, man, I'm really into Street Sharks. I'm really into Food Fighters, King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, Mummies Alive, Mighty Max, like I'm into weird, like late 80s, early 90s properties that had like usually one wave or two waves and then they were canceled. Barnyard Commandos, Snailians, you know, Bots Master, which is my favorite, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, which had a pretty good run as a comic book, but as a toy line and cartoon was very short lived. So like he loved that stuff. I loved that stuff. Like you ask him like what's his favorite of G.I. Joe? You'd be like, oh, it's gonna be like ninja stuff or army stuff. No, he likes the Manimals, he likes the mutant stuff, the Eco Warriors. Like the stuff that he loved from G.I. Joe is the weird stuff. He loved the Street Fighter stuff, which used some of the Eco Warrior stuff. I think that's why he liked it, if I remember correctly. There's this great photo of me and him shopping at BotCon, and there was this great section. I have to find that photo, and it's all like neon '90s toys, and you just see Derek, and he's like this, and he's like, "Ooh, great stuff." I miss him so much. You know, he was such a funny dude. And him and Josh Perez too, they hit it off too. They were two like peas in a pod when it came when it came to artistic love, you know. So much great stuff. So much great stuff back then. Night Begins to Shine was epic. Did I miss something? But um but yeah, David Cabal, I loved his desk picks. Oh my god, yeah. If you looked at his desks were just a mix of everything. Every like, what did he have on his desk? He had Computer Warriors, another weird toy line. He would have the Q Transformers, the PVCs of those. He would army build. Of course, anyone who knows, I think Derek had a grand total of 30 Auto Troopers, animated Auto Troopers from Bakon, like a whole collection of them. Just great stuff. Paul with the $5 super chat. What do you prefer and why? Revenge of the Fallen RC triplets being individual independent bots, or RC controlled by two others. I'll always go with the individual bots. I know that Alex Milne, he worked on some of those early movie comics, and I believe there was one. I don't want to speak out of line here, so Alex, if you see this, publicly correct me and call me an idiot. But I remember he was doing one. I think it was Tales of the Fallen or Tales of something. And there was an explanation of like what the RC triplets were and how they had a combiner mode, which was like this weird combine thing and everything. I don't know if any of that was public. I don't know sometimes because I know that you see the art, but you don't know what gets released. But I know that like it's kind of a known fact that she was supposed to combine, but I actually got to see some of his art of that. And I've always been a fan of them being individuals. I've always preferred that. Just because I feel Alita should be an individual, Chromia should be an individual, not just RC controlling a drone of Chromia and a drone of Alita, you know? And the comic books even kind of supported that more because there's a scene, and I know the comics aren't canon by IDW to the movie, but there's like a scene of Optimus mourning a dead Alita coffin when she died in Revenge of the Fallen. So it does imply that there is some kind of individuality with their modes. So at least that's how I've always felt. I've never been a fan of the drone thing, or like one makes three. There was always this early implication that Optimus Prime controlled like had like a spiritual ability to control the roller truck and the roller accessories, and they were all like interconnected, and if one was damaged the other one would feel it. That was like in the like if you read the early bios of More Meets the Eye. By More Meets the Eye I mean the Marvel bios. Optimus's bio reads like that. It's very confusing, and all of that was kind of like put under the rug. So I've never been a fan of that. Transformers has always been about the individuality of characters and the stories of those individuality of characters. That's what I mean. That's what I loved about Cybertron. I'm pointing at something off screen. That's what I loved about Cybertron is that Forrest Lee would get a repaint that he would have, like Undermine Cybertron repainted red into like Undermine the Decepticon, green little at the time was called a basic scale repainted into a red Autobot now called Repugnus, right? And Forrest Lee would write a bio about this repaint that isn't in the show, isn't in a comic, isn't in any other media. All you have of this character is the bio on the back of the card back, and this bio gave you a story of the he works for this rebellion that's in the swamps of Animatros, or whatever they called the beast planet in Cybertron. I know the Japanese name, in Animatros, and he's going up against Flame Convoy, aka Scourge. Like there's a story there with that little figure, and because it has the bio, it has the tech specs, so you know how strong he is, how weak he is, how smart he is. Like that's what I've always loved about Transformers, is that element that you could just have the packaging of a toy. Obviously, it's a terrible example because that isn't the case anymore. But you could have a packaging of a toy, and even if the character was never in the show, never in a comic, the back would tell you a whole story. Now, today, it's like, let's say Swoop was never in the show. You wouldn't even know she's a girl. All you know is intelligent Autobot ally. That's it. No more copy, which is such a shame. Such a shame. Such a shame. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. It's something where, like the way I see it, I understand you have to hire someone for that. And back in the day, it was guys like Forrest Lee. It was guys like me because I got to do it for a little bit. I'm not even trying to say like, oh, hey, like it totally has to like come back because, like that way I could get a job doing it. No, it's a shame it doesn't exist because I love just the character development of it, you know? And to me, it gave opportunities for Hasbro to do shallow repaints and actually have like a purpose with them, you know? They just called it Jungle Planet Ninja, really? Oh gosh. They just called it Jungle Planet. Of course they did. No special name. Because I know it was because it's Speedia for Japan and then it's Velocitron for America. So Jungle Planet for Animatros. And then you got Earth, of course. And then you had Gigalonia for the giant planet, and I think it was just called the giant planet, was it? And then Planeto X, I think it was that. Either way. Anyways, one moment. Just turning off my phone here. But yeah, they called it Animatron somewhere. I guess it was maybe in that those pages there that you could build a cyber planet map. Either way. JR Mina with the YouTube member question: who are you rooting for to win the NBA championship? Uh, Definitely not my teams this year. If I had to take a pick, maybe the Cavs, but either way, I'm not rooting for either one. Um, it's like the lesser of two evils, in my opinion. I'll go with them. I feel they have slightly more of an underdog play out. Gigatron. Excuse me, I'm a little gazzy today. I just ate before I went live today. T-Formers 2002, would Reflector be an exception to one mind with different bodies, or would you go off a separate G1 toy? So funny that you mentioned that. So I wrote the bio for. Let me let me grab that one. Where's that silly bio that I did? That ended up retconning everything. Where are you? There it is. Oh, that's not it. Where's that dumb bio? Oh, here we go. So I wrote this bio called Flat for Flash Century. Um, it was for Hasbro, and I believe at the time it wasn't even Fun Publication because Fun Publication was on its way out, and I believe Hasbro had way more control with IDW Comics at the time. And I wrote the bio for Flash Century, and it was supposed to be just explain some reflector plot hole stuff. And I used it as an opportunity to kind of explain number one, why in More Than Meets the Eye parts 1, 2, and 3, there's so many animation errors of multiple reflectors. Like not just three. We're talking like 18 in a crowd shot, And obviously we know today, like, it's just animation errors. There's two sound waves in one shot, there's three star screams. But it was just me going like, oh, here's a reason why. And Flash Century was one of the high-ranking commanders of the Photons. The Photons is what the faction is of what Reflector is, and they're just an entire subgroup of Transformers that all look very similar, that all have a very similar ability. And they were hired by Megatron during the beginning of the war to bolster the Decepticon rankings. Because when you really look at the first wave, if you will, of Decepticons, it's like 18 Autobots against 7 Decepticons, and it's only filled out more because Soundwave had 5 tapes. So, kind of wrote a whole story with that, explained like, what happened to him after the 86 movie, went missing in action because of, the war on Autobot City, which he died in. That's how I kind of implicate that. I give him a way out a little bit, but so I've always liked the idea of them being individuals, Viewfinder, and the whole crew. I like individual characters. I don't like, yeah, they all kind of like they all talk at the same time, kind of like Zmont and Tomax with GI Joe, where they complete each other's sentences. It's like they're twins. They're all connected. So that's the way I see it. Joseph Ritter, what's up? Will this flame jacket be worn at SDCC? Joseph, I don't even want to spoil it. I think only David Cabal might know, and I might not have shown him the final product. I have a custom jacket that I'm going to be wearing at TFCon that I'll also be wearing to San Diego. Um, but maybe I'll bring it. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. I think there should be a Symbiote Studios uniform that should be worn more than anything, but we'll see. We will see. Uh, Let's see. Orion Prime 13 with the gold super chat for 11.99 euros. Europeans, or I guess they're euros. I hope I'm right. Hey, Protoman, just bought 2 original Japan G2 Laser Primes for really cheap. My question was, what was Laser Prime? He was in the comics, or was it just a toy gimmick? So in Japan, G2 actually had a fleshed out story, a quite very well done fleshed out story. Like in a lot of ways, like let me pull out some books for you, my friend. We'll go along with some. So at the end of Star Convoy, aka Battle Stars, let me just find the page for you first, and we'll get into the G2 stuff after because I have the art books for that too. So Megatron obviously was being Super Megatron, then he was being controlled by by Dark Nebula, which is related to the Vok. We ended up retconning years later. Uh, his consciousness was then merged, and they became Star Giant, which was a Unicronian kind of character. And then they fought Star Giant, defeated him, and then Megatron's head went floating into space. Megatron was revived through the Blasty Zone and all that kind of wackiness with Robot Masters, and then he was turned to good. Where is my art book from Visual Guides? One moment. Let me find the Visual Guides book. I want to make sure I have that for you guys so I could show you that proper. Where's Transformer Visual Guides? Where is that one? Here? Well, that's not it. Genesis. Iris, Visual Guides. This one? Just want to be sure before I rattle. Oh no, don't tell me it's not going to have the G2 stuff. Oh, it does. Okay. Okay. So this is Transformers Visual Guides Works. This was a collection of art. Oh, the cat's here. This was a collection of art. I'm getting shot here. You want to go on camera for a moment? Here, hold on. Fat white cat. Oh yeah. You want to go on the couch? Go on the couch. Knock yourself out. So Visual Works. I don't know if this is a rare book anymore. Maybe it's easy to get, maybe it isn't. I just bought it day one because it was a collection of all the Ox design art, Studio Ox, Obari-san, and a few others. Drew easily my favorite version of Hot Rod Rodimus ever made. But I mean, look at this stuff. Look at this stuff. Look at the inside of Trypticon here. Look at this. Look at this madness. Like all the fine details and everything. And so, I mean, look at that. The creation of Devastator when it was originally retcon, like that kind of stuff. So, let me just get to what we're getting at, though. But let me show you some Studio Ox Rodimus first before we move forward, because Rodimus looks amazing in that. Let's find some good ones. Let's find some nice ones. What do we got here? What do we got here? Here's a nice shot there of that one against Galvatron. What else else we have? So, anyways, but let's get to the G2 stuff. So, Generation 2. So, we'll get to the story with that. Give you a little history lesson. Do they show his redemption arc? No, they don't, eh? So, they don't show everything. But so, here's the manga pages of G2, by the way. And, of course, there's your man, Laser Optimus, against Hero Megatron. So there was a whole pack-in manga story and everything. I believe Hiroshi Ishikawa was the one who did the story. Don't quote me on that, but he did a lot of the late Japanese stuff. But it explains, like pretty much how Optimus became Laser Rod Optimus Prime using the reconfiguration matrix. Yeah, here we go. There's the shot. There it is. So Hero Optimus got busted up by Hero Megatron, and then the reconfiguration made him. There he is, Laser Optimus Prime, also called Powered Convoy, was his Japanese name at the time. I don't know what they call it now, but and they just really cool stuff. And there's some nice cheesecake there, some Aichan and Artemisu. Great book, great book. I don't know if it's easy to get or not easy to get anymore. Can't tell you. Oh, cat, out of the way. And the cat knocked everything. Great book though. Is it cheap? Is it not cheap? I don't know. I just picked it up when it was brand new back in the day, just because it was a sexy book. Very sexy book. I have tons of books like this, so many of them, and like one day I want to like just do like just like a page flip with you guys. We'll just go through stuff one day. You know. The cat should be catnip. Bravo. It's true, eh? We need to get like we need to get a little domino bandana kind of thing going on there. It's true. I didn't think of that. And it's a male too. It's a male cat. Very smart though. Very smart cat. Um, James Hopkins, hey Proto, are you still going to get a second camera to look down at these? Yeah, I will. I will. I was going to get one during Boxing Day that passed, and I just didn't get around to it, but I totally do. The thing is, too, I also want to have a good environment for it because while my computer desk just doesn't have the space for like some of the bigger books, like I have like some of the larger Japanese books that are like kids' books and stuff. And I want to have like a nice shot where I could have like a good like 12 feet by not 12 feet 12 inches by like 15 inches of space, almost something like an art desk. So like I think when we'll do that, I'll probably do that in like my kitchen or living room. I'll do it on a table there, and the lighting might be a little shit, and the audio might be a little echoey because it's not in the nice acoustic transformer room. But it's something that I would love to do because golly, I got a lot of books. My goodness, like it's just roof to the ground, just giant, bookcase of just all kinds of weird stuff throughout the years. Let's just grab one more at random. Let's grab what is this one here? This is a Japanese magazine. It's definitely not New Type. It's a New Type like Japanese magazine from 1986. So gee, I wonder what this is going to talk about. Oh, look at that. We got some Gundam Zeta pull out there. Pooty pooty. Oh, look at that. Got a fold out here. I don't even think she's legal. Not in Gundam Zeta, anyhow. Or this is double Zeta. I think this is Judo. Yeah, it's Judo. That's double Zeta. Um, See a lot of idols and everything like that. But here's the reason why. So this book specifically was the very first time they were teasing the idea of a new leader for the Autobots in Rodimas Comboy. Comboy, Comboy, Comboy. If anyone remembers that commercial. So this is why I have this magazine here. One of my many weird ones. And a lot of cool stuff here, a lot of contemporary stuff at the time in terms of Japanese art. Got some Dirty Pair. Anyone knows what that is? A lot of good stuff here. Good stuff. Good otaku culture back then. Good stuff. Gonna make me want to just sit down and go through it now. I'm gonna put this aside. And take a look at it after. But yeah, is that Appleseed on the cover? Yes, it is. Smart eye. Masamune Shiro. Sarah, can we talk about plastic quality? The spark core in Tiger Hawk is broken outside of the box. And joining in the wings and the hip is already stress marks. Some people have had the same problem with it. Really? I did not know that. I have not even seen Tiger Hawk at all locally here. Maybe because it's a larger price point item and they maybe only get one case of it and it hit and then it disappeared. But man, oh man. Man, oh man. It's something where like, you know, my opportunities to pick up some items locally. Where are we at here? Let's make sure I get every question here. Is it Gilthar or Gilthor? So for the longest time, as a fan, I called it Gilthor. You know, that's what it looked like in the hiragana when you read it back in the day. Let me get. What do they call it here? Actually, did they call it Gilthor? That's a good question. Let's look at the translation. Let's look at the translation now. Is Gilthor in the first volume? Let me check. Because I have the Japanese version too. I think he did the Rodimus kick on Gilthor. Gotta find it. I'm gonna spend all day digging through all these pages now. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know, my friend. Let me go get the the big. It's too out of the way. That's a big one. Giggity. But I always went with Gilthor. That's what the hiragana was on it for the longest time. Gilthar. It's kind of like Desaurus, Desaras. You know, like it's if you read it hiragana, it's Desaras, but it's clearly trying to be Deathsaurus. Danieru, Danieru. You know, people watch Karate Kid, Daniel-san. Trust me, trust me. If Mr. Miyagi was like really, really Japanese, he wouldn't have said Daniel-san. He was Danieru-san. Yeah. Um, T-Formers 2002. So was Takara a bit more open to Rodimus replacing Convoy for the US? 100%. Because in Japanese culture, there was no bad feels when you would change things up. Every Sentai series, year to year, was a new cast. Every Gundam series, at least for quite a period, was always a new cast. You have original Gundam, then you got Zeta, then you got Double Zeta, then you got F91. Oh no, we got to do some nostalgia, Char's Counterattack. 0083. So they were always used to that, where new is a good thing. So when they take a Transformer property that's a Western brand, they're like, okay, Optimus is going to be the leader in this 52 episodes because season 1 and 2, if you kind of put it together, it almost gets that Japanese run of 52 episodes. And then we're going to do Transformers 2010, new leader, new cast, new this. They were used to always doing that. Look at Ultraman, always a new Ultraman. Yes, Godzilla's the same, but Godzilla was, hit and miss. But like that's always kind of how it's been. So for them, it wasn't a weird thing. It wasn't weird for them, and they welcomed it, and that's why I found always Hot Rod was always more well received in Japan than America because they kind of understood it. They understood the idea of like, yeah, new things come in all the time. But the West is different. The West is nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. It's, and it's for better or for worse. There's good that comes out of it. There's bad that comes out of it. Aaron, what does he say? What's Aaron saying here? My name, my name is pronounced Arun Aka at every Japanese hotel. Arker, Arun Aka. Well, CH Acha. I don't think that exists in the tongue of Japanese culture. That's why. Yes, Sanris. That's the Malaysian dub name. But yeah, they were very welcoming to Rodimus Convoy, Rodimus Convoy, as a character. Tons of merchandise, mangas, everything like that. And you look at Japan, when Japan got the steering wheel for G1 afterwards, like what happened? We bring back Optimus Prime because people complain with season 3, at the end of season 3 going into season 4. The second Japan got the reins again with Headmasters, 3 episodes in they kill him off. They kill him off. It's about Headmasters. It's about the new toys. Master Force, it's about new characters. Victory, it's about new characters. Zone, it's about new characters. It's always about that, you know? It's always new, different, new designs, new characters, new creations. Now we're in this like purgatory almost of that. I don't want to get too deep into it, but Gilthor. Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to pronounce it. When you're talking, a language that at no point back then had any intention of having a localization, there's no right answer. It's like you pick up a Minton box Minerva figure from 1988 or 80, no, 88. And right on the box in English, it says Manelba because it wasn't going to be Minerva. It was going to be Manelba, even though Minerva is what we know it as. And that's only because we know what Minerva is related to the Greek gods and stuff like that. And we know what they're trying to say. But imagine her character's name was not really something that was named after something else. Manelba might have stuck around only because, well, the box says Manelba. And if you listen carefully to the way the Japanese are saying it, because V's and B's are kind of the same thing, they kind of are like, oh, there's no V. It's not Vegeta, it's Vegeta, you know? So it's something where Gilthor, because it's Thor. Were they going for the Greek god, the excuse me, the Asgardian god? Like it's hard to say. Uh, Translation from Japanese is an art, not a science. Yeah, well, and again, it's and then like I said, when you're talking about a brand that has so much English vernacular built into it. Like Cliff Jumper in Japan was called Cliff, but even the word Cliff that they call him, it's based more in its English origins than it is in a Japanese word. Look at all the Dragon Ball characters that are named after English words, but in a very Japanese way, like all the Ginyu Force. Well, Ginyu means milk, but all the others, Berta, Berter, butter, Ginyu is milk, but then you have what's it called? G's, cheese, you know? Like Kira Toriyama used to do that all the time, just kind of like name characters after English words. And we localize it or we choose not to localize it because we know what he's trying to do, but we don't want to call G's cheese, but we get it. Piccolo's piccolo, nail is nail, you know? Yeah, there's no L's with L's and R's. Oh my God. Oh, Piccolo, Picoro. You hear that always with Dragon Ball? Picoro. There is R's sometimes, but they usually come at the end of stuff. Like if something actually has an R at the end, it kind of rolls in a little bit, but not always. But it's a very, it's very complicated, you know? Too many times when you try to make sense of it, you gotta like see like you'll have uki uki. So to a non-speaking English, so a monkey in Japanese culture says uki uki, So this is like a monkey joke, I guess, But written out in English, it's lost on us because we're like, oh, is that the name of the girl? Is that the name of the voice actress? You know, it's kind of like chew instead of squeak for a mouse. Oh, that's from Touch. I didn't know that. It's a baseball anime. Okay, that's what she's from. She's the main character from Touch. Very. So lost on you guys. Super popular in Japan because they love baseball over there. Super popular manga and TV show. Had some of the highest ratings. No one knows about it over here. No one knows about it here. No one pays attention to it. Same thing here. This Formula One anime called F. Oh my god. Amazing anime. Nobody knows about it. All these crazy. Then you have Dirty Pair. You got City Hunter. You got a whole bunch of Rimiko stuff here. It looks like this is all from Maison Ikoku. Yeah, it looks like Maison Ikoku. Yeah, it is Maison Ikoku. Maison Ikoku. You got Cutie Honey in there. Cat's Eye. I don't recognize this one. I don't know what that is. What is this one? This one I don't recognize either. Shame on me. I should know all of these. This one I know. Good old Zambot 3. That's where Hot Rod came from. There it is, Zambo Ace. You want to see Hot Rod's origin? You got Zambo Ace, the creator of all the designs for the '86 movie. The man himself that I've been trying to contact absolutely forever, Fleur O'Deary, loved in the Philippines. They would have a lot of super robot stuff, Dimos, Voltage V, Zambot 3, and a lot of Hot Rod's elements came from Zambo Ace. I say Ninjatron knows touch, of course. Ninjatron would know touch. JR Mina, what's for dinner, Proto? I actually took a photo of it. I didn't upload it here, unfortunately. It's funny too, because so my wife made it for me and she hands me the plate. I took a photo and she's like, "Why are you taking a photo?" I'm like, because they're gonna want to see it. Nice cut of salmon fish, lightly breaded, bok choy with rice. Keep it simple. Nice omega-3 protein, a light carb, and a nice healthy green, an actual good green vegetable. Because not all of it. Lettuce is not a good green. It's a water vegetable. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. That's what I always say. And then we were at the Lego store today, and I took a picture of this. If you're Canadian, you'll appreciate this. They never made a minifig of that, but I dig that. Nice little hockey player minifig. That's pretty cool. That was in the Lego store there. I just saw that. I took a photo of it today. Very, very cool. Um, Sarah, the yellow in Tigatron joins appears to be caused by the heat because the figure I have on my desk in the hot room is already yellow, while the other one in my office in direct LED light isn't, but cool. 100%. 100%. So this room here is climate controlled. No yellowing. Show me the yellowing on mine. I've had this since the day the toy came out. Opened it up, but it stayed in this room. This room is always cool. You know, there's a heater in the winter when if it gets really cold in here. I have a heater near my feet, but I rarely turn it on. And it never gets hot in this room. The windows, forget about it. I don't let any light in this room from the windows. So never yellowed. Never yellowed. Uh where are we at? Where are we at? Is it Goku or Goku? Goku. Son Goku. Never. Good old Kay and Yuri. Yeah, Dirty Pair is awesome. Great music too. Fantastic music, Dirty Pair. A lot of those classic 80s theme songs and intros that I love. But yeah, that's just one of my many wacky books. I have so much of this stuff. Like I would love to go through this page by page with you guys, just because there's so many great, like all of these like character designs. I think that's Shima from Double Zeta. Looks like her. Yeah, it is Lady Shima from Double Zeta. Oh, look at this. Machine Robo. That's Lena or Lena. See, there you go. There's another one. Is it Lena or is it Lena? I don't know. I use Lena only because that was the subs were for the longest time. Look at this. Look at this. Here's another classic one. Anyone remember Master Higgins Adventure Island? That's from the anime Honey, which was the short-lived Adventure Island anime. For anyone who remembers Adventure Island that played Nintendo and Super Nintendo back in the day. So Honey was the little fairy that you would get to get invincibility temporarily. So they made a whole anime based on that and Master Higgins. Great stuff. I love these books. These are always trips into the past. And look at all the fan arts. These are all fan art sent by otaku in Japan who are fans of stuff. Let's see what's popular here. You got some Machine Robo stuff here. A lot of it looks like Orange Road art, which doesn't surprise me because Orange Road was huge back in '86. I think the movie had just come out at the time. Amazing. Amazing. A little bit of Saint Seiya here too. But Saint Seiya was just a manga at the time. The anime had not come out yet. I remember late '86. I think it was on its way. Um, I have so many figures that have yellow due to humidity. Yeah, that's the problem. And I understand everyone has different environments that, they live in and they all have different like conditions and what they could deal with. But it's like if you are worried about yellowing, you got to have it in a climate controlled environment. You have to keep it somewhere where when you're not home and you live somewhere that's really hot, you're not going to run your air conditioning. So the house is going to get ridiculously hot, you know? The house is going to get ridiculously, ridiculously hot and it's going to damage your figures. It will. I had some Ronin Warrior figures. Anyone remembers Ronin Warriors? And they had rubber PVC for their helmets because they didn't want to use hard plastic for the helmets because the spikes would obviously be a hazard for plastic safety for toys. And so they used rubber. And for whatever reason, because my Ronin Warrior figures were located in a shelving near the boiler room of my parents' house back in the day, all the left sides, all the, I guess, horns were dried out and crusted and destroyed. So, a sad reality, a sad reality of it. I learned my lesson. I lost, look, I got a new one since then, but my landmine figure from Master Force, aka the Pretenders, I had to replace him because, he was in a bad situation because of where he was located in the house at the time. Tao Chi, Armor of Wildfire, Tao Chi. Trying to see if I have another good book to show you guys. Let's get something vintage. Let's get a vintage book. What do we got that's a good vintage book? Aaron pulled out that BotCon one. I want to show that one. Where's that? There we go. So this was the book that Aaron was talking about. This is called BotCon Legends. Uh, this book, this book is so cool, and it's such a shame. I wonder if there's a picture of Aaron in this. It's such a shame that it didn't get a larger printing. So this was done by a bunch of Japanese fans that wanted to document everything BotCon up to that point. And what was cool about the book is that it's actually in both Japanese and English. There's a lot of black and white, but there's also a lot of color. So it shows like all the exclusives up to that point, some photos. Let me see who's there. Anyone that's recognizable. You got Pete Sinclair before he was leading Fun Pub with an Optimus Primal. Who else is there that's recognizable? Let's see if we could see any cool. Anyway, so you have like all the exclusives throughout the years. I think it ends at 2001. This book. It's really cool. Got some of the Japanese exclusive stuff, like the BotCon Japan Q Transformers. You got the Super Hybrid Galvatron. These two boys. We got that one shot BotCon 2004 unofficial OTFCC. You know, a lot of cool stuff. The Wreckers unofficially, none of those ever got released back in the. Let me turn a little bit. You guys need to see this more than my face. And then just tons of text, Japanese, English, just tons of text, interviews with everybody. Again, this was made specifically for like the Japanese market to let them know, hey, there's this like crazy show happening in America every single year. that's just completely dedicated to Transformers, the Unicron, and just kind of like bringing a piece of that back. Look here, talk to Sue. Here's Sue Blue. Here's Scott McNeil, Ian Corlett, David Kay. When that was, which BotCon was that? That was '98, I think. Yeah. And you got Simon Furman, Gary Chalk. Where's Aaron Archer? There's the king himself, Joe Ibe, Metal Hawk guy, Joe Ibe. And there's a Zuza with him. It's a Zuza and Joe Ibe. I love that photo. Beautiful, beautiful photo. Some Animorph stuff. Just great. Just great. I know when the chat goes quiet because I'm looking at a book or something. They love it. A lot of text, a lot of text. There's John Machia. You got good old Alex Willow, Tarantulas. You got um, Greg Berger, Dan Kahana. Great stuff. A lot of the customs. This is all like lost media because no one ever took photos. All the customs that were there every time. More beautiful stuff, more beautiful art, more customs. Great customs. You didn't show up until 2002. Let's see if we get to 2002. Maybe we'll see your mug. Let's see if are you in it? Aaron, do you have this one? Do you have this book at all? I know that you mentioned it. I didn't see if you had it though. Let's see. Oh, there's David Wise. Rest in peace, brother. Peter Cullen. 2002. I see the BotCon 98 Japan. Let's see. No, don't look like it. No Mr. Archer in this one. Nope. So here's some cool stuff. So Unicron.com and their customs back in the day. So the Lucas brothers who founded Unicron.com are very influential on me. My shelving is because of them, pretty much. They were pioneers in Transformer displays. Let's put it that way. They were the first ones that are like, hey man, just like why don't you take a closet and then turn it into a display case? And well, the rest is history. So shout out to the Lucas brothers. Love those guys. Look at that. Rodimus Primal, a completely retooled Baboom, aka Apache from Beast Wars, into Rodimus Prime. Isn't that badass? Look at that. That's super cool. That was a custom back then. Custom RC, because back in the day we didn't have that. The infamous Unicron, but they didn't want to mess with. And Spider Bambito and Oil Master. Now we know them as that. Great stuff. Great stuff. I love these. And then nice art on the back there. BotCon Legends. BotCon Legends. 90s anime is the best. 80s and 90s. They're both really good. They're both really good. And it was at the last Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne, Indiana one. Which one was that one? Fort Wayne, Indiana one. When was the last? Because I mean, I didn't miss one since 2001, so I don't even remember anymore. So 2002, you said, right? So let's see. Do we have any pictures of your mug? Let's see. Probably not. Oh, we got some Aaron Archer concept art, though. What do we got here? From the Hasbro design team. Gee, I wonder who. There we go. Wonder whose art that. Gee, I wonder whose art this is. Whose ugly ass art is this? This guy should never have gotten a job ever. There you go. You are in the book in a different way. In a different way. Big Bad Toy Store only had 2 tables back then. Humble beginnings. Humble beginnings. Oh my God, I have so much of that stuff. So much. I don't even know where to begin. That's me. How much time we got? Oh my God, we only have 11 minutes left. No, we are. Oh man, we're flying today. Well, because they went to Fort Wayne many times. Like, because the very first BotCon was Fort Wayne, Indiana. I think the second one was Fort Wayne, Indiana. And they would constantly go back to Fort Wayne every so often, but they would also go back to Texas a lot because that's where Fun Publications head office was. So, I mean, they all kind of blur together. Like, I remember 2010 was Disney just because Disney was miserable that weekend. So I remember that one vividly. I remember 2011 was LA because that one was amazing. But then all the other ones, it's like, which one was Cincinnati? Which one was Rhode Island? You know, which one was like I don't remember. Um, T Formers 2002. Speaking of BotCon Fort Wayne, I'm hyped to go to the new BotCon there next month. Hopefully, we can meet Alex Widow, who will be there. Hey, man, they're gonna have Bumper Robinson. That's the big deal, in my opinion, because Bumper Robinson, who was animated Bumblebee, had not done any conventions since BotCon. So when you see Bumper Robinson, get your autograph because you might not. He might be reminded why he didn't do it. Long story short, I won't like bore you guys too much with it. He did BotCon 2008, and it kind of freaked him out, and then he never did anything again because he did an interview on BET television, and he was just like, "Yeah, I went to a comic convention, and yeah, I'm not doing that again." And so he didn't do it for years since 2008, and now he's back. So he's going to be doing BotCon. So if you get a chance, get your autograph because he might do BotCon and then go, "Oh yeah, this is why I didn't do this anymore." So, but yeah, so Bumper Robinson's going to be there. That's a big deal. He's a really cool dude. He's a really, really cool dude. But it was just amazing because you could see it in real time. He was doing a panel with uh what's her name there? Oh my god, I apologize for forgetting her name. Sorry's voice actor. Everyone likes her because she's pretty. Anyways, David K. Sorry's voice actor. Jeez, why am I forgetting her name? She did the voice of Bubbles, Harley Quinn sometimes. Tara Strong. Well, now watch this. Tara Strong is going to be all over the chat. Watch this. So Tara Strong. So it was Tara Strong, it was David Kay, and it was Bumper Robinson. They were doing a panel together, right? And man, oh man, like people are throwing stuff at the panel, the Q&A questions. And they're like, "Hey, David Kay, could you do Beast Wars Megatron going through a drive-through, ordering a pizza or something, right?" And then there's Tara Strong. She's doing all her like cutesy baby voices and everything. And there's Bumper Robinson in the middle. There's got to be photos or footage of this somewhere on YouTube or the internet. And there's just Bumper Robinson. He's just like he was such a fish out of water. He's like, "What? What? What? Because he was more of a live action actor. He didn't really do the voice acting thing. He didn't really do the fandom stuff, and he was so like, ugh, I don't know. So when you're at BotCon, if you get a chance, get his autograph because it might not get a chance again, you know. But he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. I got a photo with him somewhere. I have a photo of him like young Proto Man when he still had a hairline, like just posing with him. You know, but yeah, he's awesome. He's cool. I would love to go to that BotCon. I would love to go to it, man. Like they should fucking, fly me and Aaron out and do some crazy stuff. That's what we should do if we have the time for it. But I would love to go to that BotCon. That's all. It's all run by Abacus now, eh? Or what's the name of that store? They bought it out years ago. Abacus or Abacus. They're the ones who own it. They bought the rights. But hey, it's fantastic. For 40th anniversary. If they could get Bumper Robinson, to me that's like a Peter Cullen win in my opinion, because you could get a Peter Cullen now easily. If you have the money, you could get a Peter Cullen. But getting Bumper Robinson is the difficult one. That's like Frank Welker for the longest time, or Ian Corlett, where they just didn't do conventions, even if you had the money, even if you were gonna pay them. Yeah, it's true, he was animated Blitzwing. Yeah, like he was really cool, man. He was really cool. very talented guy. And it's such a shame. Like that 2008 BotCon kind of was like, okay, don't want to do this again. And yet David Kay would go on to go to do 100 shows. Tara Strong would go on to do 100 shows. Barbara Robinson just avoided conventions completely. Didn't even go to San Diego, you know? But cool guy, cool dude. Love him. Love him. I understand where he's coming from because it could, you could be weirded out sometimes. I get it. Sometimes you have fans that are very overbearing and you it's hard for them to get that perspective. I mean, I think I've told this story before where there was a G1 voice actor, I don't want to say his name, but I was asked to sit in for his handler temporarily because they needed to go to the bathroom and take a break. So I sat with that G1 voice actor for a bit, and he was someone that was weirded out by all of it. He just kind of like, give me an appearance fee, meaning like a flat fee, pay me, I'll do my thing and I'll get out. He didn't like that he had to like, to quote himself, this is his words, whore himself to get money individually from people. I guess in his mind, by that means, then he has to be nice to make money. I don't know what he was implying. I don't want to say his name because I'm kind of a fan of his and I like his work. So I don't want to make him look bad publicly, but I do see that, some people their perspective is they're just not used to it. They're not used to it. I'm a big dork. I'm used to that world. So I'm used to the crazy weirdos and the really cool people. I'm just used to all of it. But it's, some people they came from this that it was a job. They were doing the job as a voice actor, and some of them wanted to be actors, and the kind of people they were around was just that kind of West Coast Hollywood environment. And then 40 years later, they're thrust into an environment of very geeky people who are passionate about Transformers, and it kind of throws them off a little bit. Some people are very grateful for it, that being the voice of not Metroplex, Fortress Maximus, whose name I forget, but he was super sweet human being, sweetest guy in the world. I love his story. I've told his story on in the past on the podcast. When he passed away, I did a segment about him on the podcast just because he was such a really cool dude. Someone like that who really appreciated the fans and the enthusiasm and everything. And then there's some people that are like, hey man, I showed up, I voiced X character. I know you guys loved them and all, but peace, like it's just kind of how it is with some guys. You know, I get it, but at the same time, Stephen Keener, thank you, Stephen Keener, man, rest in peace. Amazing dude, amazing dude. God, like his segments will make you want, like his panel at TFCon will make you want to cry. It'll make you want to cry. It was a guy who since like the 50s was trying to get into the industry and Hollywood and be an actor. And he had a look like when you see young photos of him, you could see, oh, okay, yeah, he has like that Hollywood, Rat Pack, Sinatra kind of look to him. And you look at him and you're like, oh, this guy could have been, but he just, with anything, it's right time, right place, not so much talent or look. And he just tried, he did a few beer commercials, he did this, and then he finally retired, like not retired, stopped trying to be an actor, got a job at the bank, did a 9 to 5, got married, had kids, had grandkids, lived his life. Now he's an old man. Now he's like 80 something. And then he comes to TFCon and then hears all of these people praising him for his role as Fortress Maximus. And it blew his mind that all of these years that he was alive, there was a group of people that were praising what he worked on. And he loved it. And he was like, he was in tears. He was like literally in tears when he was telling the story. And it was like, man, that's so cool. That is so cool that he got to experience that before he passed. What an awesome guy. What an awesome guy. I love stories like that, because sometimes like some people they feel like they've always wanted to accomplish something and they feel like they never accomplished anything and then years pass and then you meet someone that like, you've made a difference in my life or something you said or something you did, really really helped me with my life and you don't find this out until like 40, 50 years later how much you made an impact on somebody. And so it's stories like that with him that's really cool. That's really cool. I always dig that. Good feel stories. You know what I mean? Agabus, that's the name of them. Agabus. I was like Abacus, Abadus, something like that. I know they're a store that sells Transformers. That's what I knew them for forever. They're the guys that run BotCon now. They seem like cool dudes. You know, hope they do well. I hope they do well. You know what? I always feel that there's always. I feel there should be like 5 different Transformer conventions a year. That way, people have opportunities. That way, they're in different. You can't do TFCon. Do this show. That's near where you live. Oh, you can't do this. You could go here. You could go there. There was at one point in the early 2000s, there was EnterCon, there was TFCon, there was BotCon, there was CybCon, I think it was one that was in New York. I think it was New York City, one by Tony Bacala. I think he called it CybCon or something. There was like a few that were bouncing around, and obviously, and then of course you had at the time, what was the before it was TF Nation, Auto Assembly. When they had Auto Assembly in the UK, BotCon Japan. There's always Transformer events in Japan, but great stuff. Great stuff. Anyways, guys, we're at the 2 hour mark. We flew today. We did very well. We topped out at about I think 150 people. Obviously, some people got bored, but I don't blame them. It was a long one. But thank you all for coming again for the live stream. Thank you for all the super chats that we got today and all the love and support. Again, if you want to help support the podcast more, we have a Patreon link down there. Click on that Patreon link. That's one way to support the podcast. Gives you access to Discord, sales threads, all kinds of cool stuff that we do in the podcast. It's the easiest way to contact me personally through the Discord. Because usually I don't like putting out emails and stuff because you get a lot of weird people emailing you offering all kinds of craziness. But Discord is probably the best way to contact me. And again, join the Patreon if you want to support the podcast. If Patreon is somehow not your thing, we have that YouTube member thing. That's our beautiful green names on the side here that support the podcast and ask the glorious questions too. You can hit that join button and join that. Some people double dip; they do Patreon and the green name. And yeah, so the cat scratching. He knows we're leaving. Shh, don't scratch the couch. I have a couch in this room. Um, but yeah, I'll probably be recording another segment on Monday because we got the Transformer Tuesday that's coming up from Hasbro. So we'll check that out with you guys. Be sure to tune in for that when we do it on Monday and Tuesday. We got a whole bunch of other stuff planned this week. There's hopefully the leaks won't hit on Sunday because there is photos of the stuff that's going to be shown on Tuesday. I get a feeling that are already on the Chinese message boards. So I'm worried that tomorrow you guys are probably going to get some images early. Just a warning in advance. So you might see some stuff on Sunday that will not make a surprise for you on Tuesday. That's all I'm saying. I hope it doesn't get out in time, but it's just I already seen China's been sharing some images. So we'll see of the studio series kind. But yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you for all the love and support. I'm out of here. I'm going to go hang out with the family and just relax and take care of yourself and your friends and your family. And I'm out of here. I'm relaxing. I'm taking care. It's the weekend. Peace.